give it a few seconds, but good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you are joining us from across the world. We really do appreciate you guys, everyone taking their time to take advantage of this opportunity to get some inside information from our College Center for Advising Services. I know when I'm on the road, I get a lot of questions about advisors and advising services and what we offer and things like that. So this is a great opportunity for all you admitted students to be able to hear from the people themselves. My name is Luis Portillo. I'm one of the Associate Directors of Admissions for the University of Rochester. I am a regional, so I live in Virginia. So all my Mid-Atlantic, Southeast peeps, hello, welcome. Appreciate y'all for having, for coming and joining us. But like I said earlier, myself and my colleague Dana, who is the regional in Texas, are on the line as well, and we will be in the background. But you are here today for the College Center for Advising Services, and their wonderful staff will talk to you about what they offer and how they can assist you and guide you throughout your time here at the University of Rochester. I know this isn't the last time you're going to hear it, but congratulations on your admissions. Phenomenal work, and this is a perfect example of all the hard work you put into it, and we hope to see you on campus over the next few years. But I will turn it over to Kate and her staff. Kate?
Awesome, thank you. Hello, my name is Kate McKenna. I'm an advisor and associate director in the College Center for Advising Services. We're also known as CCAS. So you'll hear both of those names here today and going forward. So please use the Q&A link at the bottom of the screen to pose your questions. Some questions will be answered live at the end of our presentation. In addition, this webinar will be recorded and posted on the Admissions Yellow Jacket Experience page for future use. We have also joining us, we have two advisors from our office, two more advisors and a peer advisor. I will let them introduce themselves now.
I'm JB Rogers. I'm an academic counselor and coordinator of the Take 5 Scholars Program.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Sherwood. I am an academic advisor in the office.
Hello, I'm Velma Yana. I'm a junior at U of R and I'm a peer advisor.
Awesome, thank you. So just a brief description of our office. Our office provides academic advising support and guidance throughout your whole time at Rochester starting this summer. So we're going to move on to the next slide. So this is our agenda and what we're going to talk about generally. So in this session, we're going to talk about some of the ways that our office works with students, specifically new students. The first thing we'll talk about is the advising program and how that works at the University of Rochester. The second is the Rochester curriculum overview, which I know you've heard from admissions, but we'll talk a little bit more about it. And that includes majors, minors, and clusters. We'll also talk about courses that could be of interest to new students, and then we'll talk about some important academic information, as well as some academic opportunities available for students. In conclusion, we'll give you a link about new student orientation, and then we'll answer questions from the Q&A. So I'm going to turn it over to JB to talk about our advising program.
Okay. So academic advising at the U of R. The University of Rochester's academic advising program is a collaborative student-centered partnership among faculty, staff, and students. All of our incoming first-year students and transfer students will be assigned a college advisor. This college advisor will work with you from the very beginning all the way until graduation. Your advisor is responsible first for getting to know you and your academic goals, and from there, they'll guide you with your academic planning throughout the entire 4 years. Our college advisors are experienced professionals who work closely with students and know the campus very well. And now our peer advisor is going to talk about the next slide.
So the peer advising unit is like a section of the advising council, but it's run by undergrad students. So I have been a peer advisor for 2 academic years now, and my major is electrical and computer engineering, but there are other peer advisors have different majors, and we help because we are all different and we have information that we can share with students. So just a little bit of why I chose the University of Rochester in the first place. um, I can say one thing that was important for me was the location. I was looking for a school that was located in a semi-urban place that was not very close to big towns, because I just personally don't do well in busy urban places, and U of R was a good option for me. Also, it's pretty much located in a good place. I can say it's very beautiful. There are parks you can walk to. It has beautiful winter, even though it's very cold. But it's quite beautiful. And the second thing I considered was the international student community, because I am an international student myself, and I wanted to be in a place where I could find more people to relate to. So I was looking for a place that there was more people I could interact with and share my experiences with. And U of R offered that experience because they have a very good international student community. And also research, since U of R is a research institution, and I was interested in research. So I was going for an institution that offered more research opportunities, and U of R did just that. And the final one was like the size of classes. Most of my classes have been pretty small, like about 15 to 20 students each class that I've been to. The biggest class I've been into, I think, has had like 35 students. That's like specific classes for my major. So I thought that was really good because there's more connection between the students and the professors as well. And the professors are really nice and always available to help and to talk to. So I found that really, really helpful. So I'll just talk about what we do as peer advisors. Pretty much what we do is we serve as a more comfortable to talk to advisors, since we go through the same experiences as students. So we might have a little bit more to share with you and more to tell you about our experiences, and that way we can learn from each other. Also, we don't have any access to student personal information, and we only know what they tell us about them, so the students can feel comfortable to talk to us about anything, because we won't really have any other information other than the ones they tell us. And also, we serve as a connection between students and the campus resources. There are a lot of resources on campus meant for students, and some students do not know about it. So what we do is like we make the students aware of these resources and avail it to them. We also help like explain any university policies that you might not understand very well, because we've been trained to go through the process, and we know how to interpret these policies that might have a little bit of a problem when you're trying to interpret them. So we can help with that. And we also like answer the few questions that come up day by day that might not need like an actual meeting with an advisor, like how to declare marriages, how to connect to a faculty member, how to get from one place to another sometimes, and also just how to get opportunities around campus, either jobs or research or just any other like 1 minute question that might pop up in your head and you don't have an answer to that. We are always there to answer that. So we have like a chat and Instagram page. You can follow us. We always post resources and like upcoming deadlines, just to keep students on their toes and let them know what's going on. So you can feel free to follow our Instagram, and that way you'll be updated. Also, I will post my email address if anyone has any questions that they need answered. I'm available to answer as well. And yeah, that's pretty much what we do.
You're up, Mackenzie.
Oh, can you switch the slide?
Oh, yes.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Thank you.
So we're gonna so just to kind of, before we get more into what we do and kind of how we work together with students, we thought it would be helpful to give you a bird's eye view of kind of how things are structured here, because it'll help you better understand how we work within the office. So here in the college, there are two schools. One is the School of Arts and Sciences, and one is the Hajim School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. In most ways, pretty much almost entirely, the student experience between those two is the same. You have access to the same resources, same offices, same co-curricular things. It's just you're separated a little bit based on what you're studying. So Hajim, which is the shortened version of what we call the Hajim School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, is about 30% of the students here. And what falls under Hajim is all of our engineering majors, computer science, optics, geomechanics. I think that's it. And arts and sciences is everything else. So when if you do end up joining us in the fall, depending on what your intended major is, you'll end up sorted into one of those two schools. When you applied to the college, you didn't apply to one or the other. So that means it is flexible. So between now and when you join us for orientation, if you change your mind, you can change your mind and your intended major. It's a quick form. It'll just help us reassign you to an advisor who maybe is better suited for that area of study. Just in terms of courses, Hajim students can take arts and sciences courses, arts and science students take Hajim courses, lots of crossover. We see it quite frequently with some of our computer programming courses, as well as some audio and recording and sound design courses. There obviously are certain things that are major only, or there's some restriction on it, but generally speaking, you can take courses in both areas. The one difference between the two that pertains to what we're chatting about today is the advising structure is slightly different between Hajim and arts and sciences. In both, you have a college advisor, as Kate shared, that is assigned to you right when you get here. The thing with Hajim is you will get an additional advisor who is a faculty member in your intended major area right when you step foot on campus, where with arts and sciences, you will eventually get that faculty advisor, but not until you declare your major towards the end of your sophomore year. Aside from that, like I said, pretty much all the same. But if you do have any specific questions about Hajim, the majors, their curriculum, there are 2 more sessions. They're webinars. There's one this coming Thursday, I think, the 30th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and then another one April 10th at 4:45 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not quite sure how to get access to those links, but we can kind of follow up with our friends in admissions about those. But yeah.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Whoops. Okay. So let me talk about the Rochester curriculum. I know many of you hopefully have heard about the Rochester curriculum and how it works, but we'll just talk about that a little bit. The fundamental premise of the Rochester curriculum is that it's flexible and interest-driven. This means that you make many choices as you formulate your academic plans and decide on the subjects that you wish to explore. Each student must decide on at least one major. Your major will not become official until you formally submit some paperwork. It's actually online paperwork, but we say paperwork still, right? And then you discuss your plans with the academic department. So usually that happens the other way around. You discuss your plans, you submit the online form. When you declare your major, it will come from one of the 3 academic divisions of learning. Those divisions are humanities, social science, and natural sciences. Natural sciences includes engineering. The humanities, some examples, as you can see, art, English, music, language, film, African American studies. This is not an all-inclusive list. There is many more. Some social sciences, examples of that are economics, history, psychology, political science. And then you have the natural sciences and engineering, which is biology, chemistry, math, in addition to applied math. I know that that was a question, and optics, in addition to many others. You'll also have, you'll fulfill a major and 2 clusters at a minimum to satisfy each of the 3 divisions. Your cluster requirements might be different than this, and a major and 2 clusters, if you are a transfer student or in a select number of Hajim majors. They have modified requirements. You'll also do a primary writing requirement course. We'll talk about that in the next slide a little bit. And then to just talk a little bit about clusters. Clusters are a set of related courses that consists of at least 12 credits. Courses normally here are 4 credits each, so it would be 3 courses for a cluster. At Rochester, where most courses carry 4 credits, a cluster is therefore comprised of 3, which is great. There are numerous existing clusters to choose from in many different areas. I want to say that there's over 200 existing clusters to choose from. So that number might be give or take a little bit, but that's usually around what it is. In addition, you'll have to complete 128 credits or a few more if you're a Hajim major for some of the Hajim majors. And you'll need to get an average of a C or better in all aspects of the Rochester curriculum to finish your degree requirements. Average of C, a C is a 2.0. That is the minimum that you would need in your cluster, in your major, and your minor, and then overall in order to finish your degree. I am going to hand it over back to JB to talk about some other things.
Okay, we're going to talk about some additional important academic information for all incoming students. Kate mentioned the primary writing requirement. That is the one required course for all students. Most students take the semester-long WRT or Writing 105 course, but there are alternate options as well. There are some specific guidelines for transfer students that may have taken a similar course at their previous college. You'll learn more about that process this summer and during orientation. Please use the QR code to get additional information on all the different types of primary writing courses. Enrollment policy. So the expectation is that students are here for 8 full-time semesters or the traditional 4 years. But early graduation is possible, so students are required to be here for at least 7 semesters. So therefore, students can't accelerate by more than 1 semester. Transfer students have a modified enrollment policy depending on the total number of credits transferred in. Exam credit and courses taken in high school. So many of our enrolling students are eligible to receive college credit by AP, IB, or courses taken at another college while they're in high school. For students taking college courses while in high school, students enrolled in college coursework through a college, the course may be offered in person or remotely, are eligible to receive transfer credit, assuming courses are taught by that college's faculty and are completed with a grade of C or better. We do not award college credit for dual enrollment courses taken in the high school. In addition, there is a maximum of 16 total credits through examination scores. So that's AP, IB, and college coursework on a college campus while in high school. If you have any individual questions about your credit, please email our office.
So there we go. We just wanted to share a few course offerings that we have here that are really, I mean, they're for anyone, but they are really courses for new students here on campus. Just some things to keep in mind if you do end up joining us. So CASC, as we call it, 142, it's called the Methods of Inquiry course. It is taught by our colleagues over in the Learning Center, which is a great resource here on campus. If you want to take a minute at some point to take a peek at their website, they're a really great place for students to get some academic help. This is a one credit course. I'm pretty sure it's every semester, but its main purpose is to help students strengthen their study skills, their time management, organization, be more comfortable with emailing and reaching out to instructors, just kind of those things that you really have to navigate on your own once you get to college. So that's a really great course for anyone. CASC 170 is a course specifically designated for international students. It's a course that's taught by some of the folks in our office who work exclusively with international students. It's meant for students who are studying in the US for the first time, and it's really focused on helping students become more familiar with cultures, kind of the campus, how things work, and just strategies for being a successful student on campus. That course is 2 credits. And then the Designing Your Life course, which is run by the folks in the Career Center, which is also very, very popular. This course, I think it's a 1 credit course, is really focused on career exploration and development for first and second year students. So it's a really great place if you maybe have no idea what you want to do, or you kind of know what you want to do, but you don't know what you should study to get there, or you're not really sure what your options are. It's really a great course for anyone. Most of these are offered, I think, every semester. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but just some great things to keep on the back burner in case you were looking for some courses.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about special academic opportunities. And we've had some questions about Take 5, which is one of these in the chat. So a little bit about that program first. Take 5 is one of our 5th year programs here. And the Take 5 Scholars Program is fairly unique among colleges in the US. Students who wish to study an area of interest that they haven't had time to study previously, so not something that they are majoring or minoring in, may apply for a tuition-free 5th year of study. The additional year is meant to enrich a student's undergraduate experience, but is not meant to complete any additional majors or minors. Similarly, we have the E5 program, which encourages students who wish to develop an entrepreneurial project to spend a tuition-free 5th year pursuing that interest. There are currently about 55 students in their 5th year, both Take 5 and E5. There are application cycles in both the fall and spring semesters for each program. Independent study. Many of our students participate in the independent study courses. There's over 1,000 independent study projects each year, and those are arranged between students and faculty members. Independent studies include internships for credit and also independent research. Undergraduate research we have an Office of Undergraduate Research, which is a helpful resource for students looking for ideas about how to connect with a faculty member. You can find out more information on the Office of Undergraduate Research at their website. The Fellowships Office coordinates selected national fellowship and scholarship competitions and helps students apply to those programs.
Thanks, JB. So our last couple slides are for new student orientation. Please check out the QR code on the slide for all the great things that are starting this summer. So I think we mentioned it in a previous slide, but for advising for new students, and I think there was a question, all incoming students will hear from their college advisor in early July. Registration for fall will begin in early August a couple weeks before classes start. So there's plenty of time for you to talk with your advisor, meet with your advisor, and sort of go over all of those things. But definitely check out the website for orientation and first year programs. It has the most up-to-date information about when all those things get started. So that is the end of our official presentation. We definitely welcome the class of 2027 and transfer students. Please, as Velma said, there is a peer advising Instagram. There's also a CCAS Instagram. Both of them have QR codes on our slides. If you have any questions, please email us. This is our general office email, cascas@ur.rochester.edu. And now we'll answer it. We've answered most questions by typing them, but I'm trying to think if there's any, if Mackenzie, Velma, or JB or admissions, please see if there's anything that we can answer live too, if that helps, if we want to talk about anything specific. We are here, so we'll answer. We've got another 35 minutes.
I would say one of the questions I receive the most when I'm on the road recruiting our students, especially, is how early and how often do, I guess, my advisors change, or when do I get them assigned, because we're not applying directly into a major, et cetera.
Right, that's a great question. So as a college advisor, right? So when you get a college advisor, it's your advisor for the whole time that you're here. For the traditional first year student, that's 4 years, right? For a transfer student, it could be slightly different. But when you get that advisor in the summer, which is starting in early July, you're going to work with them throughout the whole time here. What a student will also get is an advisor within that major. So once they've officially declared a major, which is submitting an online form, talking to the department, submitting the online form, is they will get an advisor, usually a faculty member within that department, and they will stay with them the whole time they declared their major to talk about their major requirements. As Mackenzie talked a little bit about in the, I forget what number slide, the Hajim School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, it's a slightly different advising structure. You do the same thing. You still get a college advisor just like you do in arts and sciences. You still get a faculty advisor within that intended department, but that faculty advisor is actually there from the beginning, as opposed to arts and sciences, where you only officially get them when a major is declared. For Hajim too, you also get an undergraduate coordinator within that department. So you just get a couple extra people, and that's how the advising structure works in Hajim. But for arts and sciences, you'll get them when you have a major advisor when you officially declare. Then we also have peer advisors, right? I think there was a question that Velma answered, that peer advisors are not assigned. They are available to help any and all students. There are peer advisors within departments too that can answer specific questions about departments and the majors and things like that. And then we have Velma and her peer advising colleagues that are general peer advisors. So there's lots of different types of advising that's available for students. I hope that helps.
Very much so, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I will answer about I've gotten a few questions. I've seen a few questions about pre-med advisors. So they're called health professions. It's a mouthful, right, compared to what you can say for pre-med. But the Green Center, which is the Career Center, has health professions advisors available to help students. You do not declare anything that you are pre-med or health professions or whatever. You just utilize the resources that are available in the Green Center to help with that. So you don't put anywhere on your, like, it's not in the student information system that you are pre-med. That is something that the student would work with the Green Center on their application process and sort of their prerequisites and things like that.
So there's a question in here about faculty advisors. So faculty advisors are separate from college advisors, and this person is asking, do you choose your faculty advisor, or are you assigned one? It depends. It depends on the department. Sometimes students are able to choose one if they have a relationship with a faculty member in the department. Sometimes, depending on the amount of faculty available and the amount of students in the major, they assign them to you just to keep the workload even. But it's usually one of those two options. If you have one in mind, you can usually pick them, and if you don't, they'll help you find one that works for you.
Awesome, thanks. There's a question about medical schools. Last year, we are not health professions advisors. That would have to come from the Green Center. They would have more statistics on the medical schools, how many people applied, how many applied in the past few years. That's something that you'd want to talk to the health professions advisors about.
Yeah, similarly, the question about the recommendations and really the entire medical school application process is managed by those advisors in the Green Center.
Awesome, thanks. So I think Velma's typing an answer to one of the questions about a student majoring in arts and sciences and minoring in something in Hajim. Yes, 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 yes. Lots of students do things in both sort of schools. So if a major could be a double major, it could be a major and a minor, and it could be the other way around too. So as Mackenzie talked about in her slide, there is most of those intro engineering courses, I think all of them are open to any student, really. So you can decide if that's the path that you want to take. We have students that change from arts and sciences to Hajim numerous times, numerous semesters. So it's definitely possible.
I'm going to put in the chat right now with the questions that you were asking. A lot of students are asking about the pre-med majors. There is going to be a session called Healthcare Community Advising that's going to be on April 5th. And I think that will be very helpful for any of our students who are really wanting to focus on pre-med. I will put that in the chat here in just a moment.
Thank you so much. What else? Any other questions that we want to answer live? Does anybody have any questions about courses? We have a current student here, Velma, who would love to answer questions. Any questions about courses or things like that? She talked a little bit about her experiences with courses so far and the number of students and her experiences with faculty. So if there's any other questions. There you go, Velma. There's one for you. Is it difficult to get into the classes you want? What do you think?
I would say it depends mostly with your major and the level. Usually like the prerequisites, because there's so many students taking it at the same time. Mostly for like freshmen and sophomores, it might be a little difficult to get into a class because it gets full pretty quick, but that doesn't mean that you won't be able to take that class. There's usually accommodation for such cases, and if maybe the class can be offered during a specific time of the semester, it can be pushed to the summer and you can take it then. But like the more you progress and take more advanced and major specific classes, then the classes become smaller and it's always easier to just get into any class.
There's also another question, Velma, about courses taught by grad students. What's your experience with that?
Yeah, there are courses not really taught by graduate students, but there are courses that have like graduate teaching assistants who somehow handle some of the I could say class workshops, which is more like teaching and like a tutoring session. So depending on the class you take, we have like graduate or undergraduate TAs depending on the preference of the professors or the students. So you can always find like a graduate or undergraduate teaching assistant to help. Yes. Someone asking if University of Rochester students can take lessons at Eastman. Yeah, you can. It's called to double major, or you don't even have to double major, but you can take classes from different campuses at U of R.
Yeah, for the Eastman lessons, I think you do have to, oh my goodness, lost that word right there. What is that called? And you have to,
Audition. You have to
audition.
audition.
thank you.
They
Totally
normally
lost
hold
that.
them during the registration period. So within the first week or two of classes, the auditions will go on.
Yes, thank you. So there's someone's asking about registration process. And does it take one Zoom meeting or several meetings before we register? It really depends on the student, right? So we do, in the summer, we do some group advising by Zoom usually, because that is the most convenient where we can get a lot of people. And then we do some individual sessions if students need it, right? Sometimes students want the individual, sometimes they want to follow up by email. So it really depends on the student. It could be one or two Zoom meetings, or it could be a few Zoom meetings, right? So Mackenzie, I don't know what your experience has been with probably that.
Sorry, I lost my mouse.
It's okay.
Typically, I've noticed just because it is students first go at registering, there's a lot more individual meetings just because they're trying to work through what they should take. They're at a little lost on what they're supposed to be doing. But it usually can be done in one Zoom meeting. Obviously, it depends on each student, but as you kind of progress in your time here, you have a little bit better idea of how things work, so you don't need as much support. But usually that first round, it's usually done over Zoom as opposed to an email, or it starts as an email and then it gets kind of complicated, so it ends up going to Zoom anyway. But it's not a super long process if that's kind of what you were worried about.
Students, parents, because I know there are parents on here as well. Any other questions while you have the experts? Thank you, Dana, for putting those in the chat boxes for students that are looking for either more information about additional sessions. You can see that in the chat box and not in the Q&A box for pre-med students and other presentations that are going, or additional sessions that will be going throughout this Yellow Jacket experience. Well, CCAS, it seems like you all have done such a wonderful job that questions were kept at a minimum of 30 this year, as opposed to past years. We do appreciate your time. Students, parents, families, again, welcome to the University of Rochester family. We do hope to see you on campus. You've met 4 wonderful people that work in CCAS that are here to help. They've put their contact information in there. And even if you forget to find their contact information, reach out to us in the admissions office. We will pass them on to you in the CCAS office as well. Thank you all again so much for joining us on this, where I'm located on this wonderful, beautiful afternoon. But everyone else, wherever you are, thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day. We will give you the rest of your time. Appreciate y'all.